This is a Headgum podcast.
You saw the stained glass thing Tovah made?
I did. Wow.
And then I had a hip hop teacher. I'd take some hip hop classes at Broadway Dance Center, and he wrote just like all the comments, ha ha ha, ba ba ba, and he was like, "You don't need to make fun of God. You're funnier than this." And you go, he's a sweet guy. He's not like, cramming it down my throat, but I just felt.
I used to feel adamant about not making fun of religion, having been raised very loosely Catholic.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm like, fuck that. Like, you don't get to decide whether I have a traumatic experience tied to your religion or not.
Of course.
And especially when it's a religion that is imposed on everyone who lives in this country.
Yeah.
It's not just a religion, it's the religion that gets shoved down your throat everywhere you go in this country. So
and people tuck into it all sorts of horrible beliefs, and I just can't respect what the face of it,
right? Like, and then it gets the tax exemption of it all. I think that's what opens the door for, like, no, we get to criticize you because you're doing all of this and you're collecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they get rid of the tax exemption, I will stop making stained glass of me showing whole, and the whole is Jesus Christ on the cross.
Who taught him the phrase "showing whole"? Who is responsible for you,
Well,
Gianmarco?
I was on Fire Island this weekend, so I would say my friend Jay Jordan probably teaches me all the terms.
I have a lot of questions.
Please.
And none of them I feel like I'm actually entitled to ask.
In this space you are.
But, I mean, how far does your allyship go? Because at a certain point, are you appropriating our culture? Are you
Tell me.
Are you queer baiting us? No, I'm not saying you are. I'm asking.
Someone said queer baiting would be if I was like, maybe I'm gay.
Right,
Maybe I'll do it.
right.
And I'm pretty adamant that the whole time I'm on Fire Island, I'm thinking about pussy from morning to night.
Well, I mean, here's the thing that straight men don't realize. Our female best friends are horny, and they are sick of being around gorgeous men who don't want to fuck them. And I have gone from gay man to female best friend, and I can tell you, being in a room full of gorgeous gay men who all want to fuck each other, and at a certain point, you become invisible.
Yes.
And so if there is a straight man in the bunch, he can really clean up. Now, so I would use the phrase, you just happen to be straight.
Sure, I like that.
Yeah.
But you've never.
No, not never.
Well, in musical theater camp, summer, someone...
That is the best place
That
to
is
do
the
it.
best place. A guy tried going down to me, musical theater, high school camp.
Baritone, tenor.
If it was a tenor, I would have been hard.
Tried his best.
This is the downside.
That is so deep cut.
You're listening to The Downside.
The Downside.
With Gianmarco Soresi.
This is the downside. This is a place we can complain, be negative. Even if Fire Island was great, we can go. I was thinking the whole time how global warming is going to probably take it away from us in 4 to 5 years. If you're a fan of the show, join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside for bonus episodes for a month and footage from a live episode every month. I'm here with Russell Daniels.
Hi.
And the one and only Jinkx Monsoon. So happy to have you.
I didn't want to leave you out of the conversation,
That's okay.
Russell.
He also happens to be straight.
Happens to be straight.
Happens
Yes.
to be.
And see, here's what that means. It just means you have shed that culturally imposed idea that anything feminine and anything homosexual immediately equals bad. That's like, it's like if you are a straight man who has learned empathy, then you're on your way to,
Sadly, yeah.
to being an ally. And, I actually am very proud of people who at least try once. I tried pussy.
Oh, yeah.
On a cruise once, I had a threesome with a married couple, and the husband made a very strong argument, which was, well, I've just had my first queer experience. What's stopping you from having your first straight experience? And I said, touche, hop on. And
immediately you go, nah.
It was not nah. It was that in that moment I realized, it was more so that I realized I have no bias, personal, my worry about being with a trans man was that I wouldn't know what to do. And that worry is gone. I'm like, okay.
Sure. By the way, that's my worry too.
But, so I self-identify as pansexual, but I'm very aware of the fact that I'm just not sexually attracted to cis women. I'm a never say never person, because if I met the right cis woman, who knows? But I don't think that's very likely.
Is the pansexual saying you're pansexual? Is it more so other people know in case they flirt with you or hit on you, or is it like, what's the difference between bi and pansexual for you, the identifier of it?
For me, it's the binary of it all. So bi is saying you're attracted to femme and masculine, and
Sure.
I am attracted to just you come as you. I'm attracted to authenticity. Can I be an authenticist? Authenticist?
Sure. But could it be pansexual pussy light?
Pansexual pussy light. I like that.
Yeah. People love terms. They love terms and they love to more specifics.
Diet pussy.
Diet pussy.
Pansexual with a cock rising.
So I had such a good time. I would never. We did a show. Me and Jay Jordan. Do you know Jay Jordan?
Probably.
Great
I'm so
stand-up
bad
comedian.
with names.
He's bi. But he
Introduce me.
I would never. Per your thought about is gay baiting or whatnot. It's like I would never do a show by myself. There, like there is a degree where I acknowledge
You're a guest.
I'm a guest.
Yeah.
And so even Jay and I spoke where it was like if we ever have guests on the show. The guest would be queer. If there's going to be one straight person on the show, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
So he kind of like, it was wonderful because he shows me around. I wouldn't know where to go, and we stay at a house, and he guides the way. I tried ketamine for the first time.
Just recently?
On Fire Island on Saturday.
What was it like?
I definitely played it safe because I was so scared of the K-hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just had like 4 bumps throughout the day, and it was like you were very quickly inebriated in some capacity, low key, a little bit floaty, felt a mix between drunk and high.
Now, what is a K-hole? Like, I've heard the phrase, but what does that feel like?
Well, I avoided it.
I've gone into a K-hole, the one and only time I've done K, and it's because I was unaware that I was doing K. I thought I was doing Molly, and then it was revealed to me later, oh no, we changed the plans to K. It was in Australia.
Yeah.
So basically a K-hole is like being blackout, but you're like,
oh no.
And you can kind of come in and out of consciousness. And so I was in like a 6-hour K-hole basically, and in it I have no recollection of it, but in it, I had a very baffling conversation for others to watch with Paula Abdul. And so the first time I met Paula Abdul...
She's in every K-hole.
...is completely erased from my memory because,
Well, you've met her since.
I've met her since,
and
I brought this up, and I have jokes about it. And I hosted the Queer Teas one year. I was the MC for the Queer Teas, and they were honoring Paula Abdul. And I made a joke about meeting her in a K-hole. And we met multiple times throughout my life, but I made the joke about the first time. And when I went to say hi to her after, she goes, I remember that night. I'm like,
Oh.
I'm so glad one of us does.
Yeah. Oh my
When
god.
was her? Because I didn't really know. I know that one song that she did, but I know her from American Idol. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
but when was she like
What's
at her
the
peak?
one song
There's one like big.
with
what
the
was
scat,
big radio
Straight up,
hit?
scat
Straight
cat?
up, don't tell me, right? That one?
How's it go?
Is that her? That's her, right? Straight up, don't tell me.
She's got hits
We
you
can't sing
wouldn't.
it.
She's got hits you wouldn't guess were Paula Abdul.
Sure.
But I think she had a
Straight up.
brief window, and it was probably the early '90s, late '80s. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1988, 1991.
Because
yeah.
we're basically you were born 89,
'87.
88. So yeah, I'm just trying to think. It wasn't a part of my. But were you a fan of Paula's work, or was that a later?
I was a fan of her on American Idol. Definitely. I'm not a big fan of the late 80s, early 90s music. I don't know why. I'm just, I'm resistant to certain things. I don't like heavy synth music unless it's done artfully. And I do not like jazz saxophone just being used willy-nilly. I don't know why, but it's very songs that have a saxophone in it used well I love, but the whole like
Yeah. That, like,
why
song-
do
that-
we want our pop hits to sound like porn music?
Yeah.
Like, let porn music be porn music, thank you.
I was trying to think because my parents, their influence on me musically. My dad was in the disco era. My mom did Studio 54 when she was like 14, like not good.
Yeah.
And so they played a lot of disco for me growing up. I played, and we played It's Raining Men at a very, very early age.
I was raised by punk rockers. So I listened to Sex Pistols, Susie and the Banshees.
Oh, Susie the Banshees.
And, the Ramones. And my mom also loved Billy Idol. But then she also loved, like, Billie Holiday and Patsy Cline. So I had this. And then when I started buying my own music, like as a kid, the only thing I liked was classical music or the B-52s. It was one or the other.
Yeah. But were you into musical theater as a teenager?
No, musical theater kind of came to me. I knew I wanted to be on stage my whole life. And then musical theater came to me as like an aha moment, as like a combination of everything I like to do at once. And that was probably 9 or 10. I saw the touring production of Rent, and everything went over my head. But
By the way, first act I saw with my mom on Broadway, and I didn't know that they had
you
AIDS.
only saw the first act?
No, after the first act, I turned to my mom and I was like, "Is one of them sick?" And she was like,
Oh God!
"You didn't catch the AIDS part?" And I hadn't.
But
AIDS
did you know what AIDS was at the time?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. Straight men just don't think about AIDS. Like, AIDS was ever present in my adolescence, because I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, post 80s AIDS epidemic. So I had a mother who heard their kid was queer, and her brain said, because she lost gay friends to AIDS. So I have talked to so many friends now who, like, when they came out to their mom, who had gay friends, who was totally an ally, their mom freaked out because in her brain, she heard, okay, my kid's going to go out into the world, and the first time they have sex, they're going to get AIDS, and then I'm going to lose my kid,
Yeah.
And that turns into panic that then conflates into homophobia.
Well, now I'm thinking because my mom suspected or wanted me to be gay and never brought it up.
Do you
so
have
that's very
siblings?
irresponsible.
Did she ever get one?
She never got
That's
one.
why she took you to Rent.
I
That's why she took you to see Rent.
Yeah, that's why she took me to see Rent. Exactly.
Two birds.
That's the
Plain AIDS
education.
and my gay kid.
The
will-
birds and the
yeah,
bees
yeah, yeah.
and AIDS. No, I have a dancer sister where I'm sure they're having fun on these tours.
Oh.
But no, we're all pretty straight. Pretty straight.
So I'm obviously who I am. And then I have a younger brother in the middle who's straight and just, happens to be straight. And then my youngest brother is queer. And I think these days identifies as bi. And then I have a half sister who doesn't have the same mom, but she's pretty queer adjacent if she doesn't self-identify as queer. And so I like to say they got one of each. You got your straight boy, you got your up for anything lady, you got the bi boy, and then you got me, which is just a chocolate vanilla swirl.
Yeah.
Debbie Downsiders, I am so happy to have an ad partner, Green Chef. You know my rule. I don't want to advertise things that I wouldn't use. And I like to eat healthy. I like options. I like to eat clean. And most importantly, I want it to happen fast. I don't got time. I got to caption. I got to edit. I got to write new jokes. I need to make sure Russell's going to be at the session when he said he would. And that's why I would use Green Chef, because Green Chef makes it easy to spend less time in the kitchen and more time building your podcast or whatever it is that you do at home. Please don't do another podcast. With their new Heat and Eat meals, enjoy a delicious, wholesome meal in just 3 minutes. With 80-plus dietitian-approved weekly meal options, Green Chef makes it easy to find meals that fit your lifestyle, whether you're a podcast host or something else. Pick from Mediterranean, gluten-free, plant-based, and protein-heavy, even gut and brain health, and calorie-smart choices as well. Make this summer your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50downside and use code 50downside to get 50% off your first month. Then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's a pretty good deal. That's code 50downside at greenchef.com/50downside. Your mom said I watched the documentary, and your mom said when you were 3 that you said, I want to be a girl.
Yeah.
And that's just do you remember having that thought at 3?
Well, I remembered as a kid, as far back as I can remember, that I was in, if I was a girl, everything would make sense. Everything about me didn't make sense for a boy. And I wanted so badly just to be left alone about the topic. And
who would bring it up? Like schoolmates or
just everyone, mostly men, commenting on my behavior, right? You got to do something about that, that kind of stuff. And when I had female friends who would let me dress up with them and play Barbies with them, their stepdad would come in and rip the clothes off my body and rip the doll out of my hand. So I learned very quickly that I wasn't supposed to. So, I think back on it and I'm like, I didn't, when I used to pray to God as a little kid, I didn't pray, make me straight or make me like the other boys. I prayed, make me a girl, because then everything about me would make sense. And then my mom actually had a very progressive conversation with me at a young age, asking me if I wanted to transition. And then she told me the step-by-step as her understanding.
Was your mom progressively minded? Where did your mom get this?
Because of her queer friends and knowing from her own experiences that I'd have a better chance of transitioning starting early.
Was that a punk rock side of things?
I guess. I mean, she wasn't raised like that. She had to learn that on her own.
Yeah.
But here's the only thing is her understanding and the general understanding of transitioning was limited. So she told me step by step what would happen. And then she said, and then one day we'll take you to the doctor and he'll remove your penis. Now, I have no genital dysphoria.
I see.
If I had been born female and, if I had been born with female genitalia, then I'd be fine with that. But I wasn't, I just wanted my image and appearance to match the way I saw myself in my head. But that didn't include genital confirmation surgery.
Does it count as genital dysphoria if I think it should be longer?
No, I think that's toxic masculinity creeping in, telling you that your worth is tied to your dick size. But anyway, so when she told me the doctor would cut off your penis, I said, that's not for me. And so we closed the book on the trans conversation.
Yeah.
And we didn't have it again until, kind of recently. And she was the one to bring it up. And she's like, I know that I said something to you as a kid that I think is holding you back from going fully with your transition. Because at the time I had booked my facial feminization surgery, but had no intentions on going on hormones. Mm-hmm. So then I told my mom, well, I kind of would like to go on hormones, but I don't know. And we talked about it. And so at the same moment that I told her, the reason I've thought so much about going on hormones is I believe I'm undiagnosed intersex. And then my mom just very calmly goes, well, I'm intersex. I'm like, no, I did not know that. What are you? And apparently she had found out 2 years prior that she had an underdeveloped testicle that they thought was a tumorous cyst. Oh. So they did an x-ray and turns out, no, it's an underdeveloped testicle that's always been there. Oh. Right? And then I was like, you found this out 2 years ago? You found out you had a testicle and you sat on it for 2 years before talking to me about it. But the day I told her I wanted to begin my medical transition, she came out to me as intersex. And so my big philosophy right now is we can't have an accurate conversation about trans identity because we have not even had the conversation about how many of us. There are 78 variations of intersex that we know of, and we don't test for it at all. If
when you say there's variations, is it is having one testicle a variation, or no, it's more like
it can be chromosomal.
Okay.
You could have no visible or internal but chromosomal intersex aspects. And like my mom never found out until her 50s because they don't test for that stuff. They knew she had hormone imbalances her whole life, and they tried to correct it and could never get it right. But no one said, well, let's test if she's intersex, because we ignore this conversation entirely. And sorry to get all worked up.
No, I don't. I don't know a lot about it.
Fascinating, yeah.
But so the only time that we diagnose intersex is if you show external signs.
Yes.
If you have genitalia that gives an impression, okay, this kid was born intersex. And then do you know what they do? The parents and the doctor choose the baby's gender, and they perform genital reassignment surgery on the baby. Does that sound familiar? That sounds like what we're being blamed for doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's actually, yet again, just like we get blamed for child sex abuse.
Yeah.
But the number one culprit is actually straight white men.
Yeah.
Now,
there's some doctors that are women too.
But the point is, we get blamed for this erroneous idea that we're performing,
Of course.
Yeah.
surgeries on babies, and the only people who actually do that are heteronormative doctors and parents who make a life-altering decision for their kid at their birth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way we are now talking about what are the ramifications of circumcision on men, what are the fucking ramifications on changing a child's anatomy at birth?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we have countless documentaries about it, and yet we still haven't integrated this conversation. Because if we do integrate the intersex conversation into our everyday conversation about gender, then there cannot be any more debate about whether trans people have any right to be here. Because we have no idea how many trans people are intersex.
Yeah.
And that their transition is actually just correcting
Yep.
something that they never were allowed to explore their whole life, because we don't test for it, we don't think about it, and we don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's my rant about intersexuality.
So on like what? It's so complicated because like to discuss those things, it's like you have to have a society that's able to talk about genitalia, period. Like, it's like a conservative will hide under, like, they'll just say someone's a predator or a sex offender, and then hide and then say, and to discuss it is to be that. And it's like, what do you need? You need to, you saw the Catholic Church movie. What was it? Where it was like the guy who ends up becoming Pope. They found out he was intersex. He, what was it called?
Was that the most recent one with Isabella Rossellini? Covenant?
Yes, the Covenant. Yes.
The Covenant.
Yes.
As opposed to what happened in real life, it ended up being a conservative Chicago guy.
Yeah.
Straight white man who's against gay marriage. But it's like, I remember reading that book, Middlesex, in college. And it's one of those things where it's like, most Americans just don't even fucking know. They don't even know.
And that is a result of colonialism. And so you said, are we even able to have the conversation? We're getting there, but it's all interconnected. You know, indigenous people had trans people and intersex people already integrated into their culture. And then if you can control how a person dresses based on being scared to be called gay, then you can make them do anything you want. Truly, it's that. It's that simple. If you can tell a woman you'll never get a husband if you don't dress a certain way, and you'll never have worth until you have a husband, and she falls for it, you can control anything she does. If you tell a man, if you dress this way or act this way, everyone will think you're gay.
Yeah.
And being gay is the worst thing you can be. Then you can manipulate that man for the rest of his life. And that's what we're watching. And that's who Trump plays to. The people who fucking fell for it. And the rest of us who are starting to see that it's all a goddamn lie. It's like we're slow. We are thinking of our revolution that needs to happen as something that's already happened before, but it's not going to look the same because it's the shift in consciousness is happening slowly.
Yeah.
Do you? I think I always assumed naively that we've talked on earlier podcasts about, like, for me being a Democrat growing up, it was always about, like, gay rights, and I was a theater kid, so it was one of the most black and white issues I felt of my time, and it was at that point it was simply like it was about gay marriage, and I guess I assumed whether it was watching more and more people come out of the closet, or whether it was like Glee becoming a national, like, popular show, I assumed gay rights and then beyond that, all LGBTQ2 plus rights would like extend, and it feels like this curve back with Trump. And I don't. It's and maybe it's illusory, and maybe it's just the loudest voices.
Well, this is why I'm saying it's all interconnected, because if you work backwards, everything you just said applies to the civil rights movement. It applies to the women's rights movement. You know, you'd think that if we learned at one point it's wrong to treat this group of people like less than people for their skin color, you'd think that would apply to every other person, every other shade of skin color. But no, we have to go through the same fucking argument every time. You think that if we say women deserve equal treatment and we agree on it as a society, you'd think that would be the end of the conversation. But have women gotten equal treatment yet? Not once. Have POC people gotten equal treatment? Not once. Like, our whole country has been operating on a facade, and the facade can't keep up with itself anymore.
It also feels like sometimes it's even within the community. Like, there's like a thing once you get in the door, you're like, well, I'm in now. And there's like to be like, feel like you're
we see the rise in the LGB
like
groups.
that those groups that are like, well, no, not me, like like I even have an
we
issue
just wanted
with
this thing,
yes,
and now
Oh yeah, well, everyone we're like,
and you understand it's coming from a place of fear of like having fought I don't know, you know.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh, if we cut off the dead weight, we'll be
Yes.
fine. But it's the opposite.
No, yeah, of
if
course.
you cut off the dead weight, then
You're
know
next on the chopping block.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have already seen this happen
Yes.
in history. So like the idea that you're going to sell some people out and then get special treatment, you're only telling your oppressors that loyalty has a price.
Yeah.
And that your allies could also be bought out and turn against you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the fucking slippery slope. They're so that they love talking about the slippery slope. Well, we're watching their slippery slope. We give them an inch and they're like, okay, now that you agree that we should intervene here, we're going to intervene everywhere.
It's also just when I see parents express this fear, I mean, obviously, and it became a huge voting issue for a lot of people. It's like parents who have kids and they want their kid to be something. They want their kid to, they have an idea of what their kid is. And I think like every parent has to acknowledge and confront that they think they can control the future. My friend wanted his kid to, he was an athlete, he had balls everywhere, and his kid likes to dance ballet.
Yeah.
My dad once went to my mom, this is how weird he is, and told my mom, do you think he'll be someone who like is like a player or is like has in a lot of relationships? And my mom, a more self-aware person, was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
We don't know. And so
Yeah.
parents have, it's such a deep psychological problem where they go, but then they go to the school and then they're going to come back and be a different a person.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm
Yeah.
scared of.
And
And it's like they're
here's
going to go to school or
here's the
anywhere.
fucking
They
thing.
are different.
Here's the fucking thing that I want to say to those parents. You already fucking fucked up
Yeah.
when you decided their gender for them, when you decided their religion for them. It's not us you have to worry about, us other people out in the world that your kid is going to have to learn how to coexist with anyway. When you impose like the balls around the balls but you know, the sport equipment around, that didn't make him like sports. And so, you know, the idea, the audacity that, I mean, like, if you want to have kids because you want to have complete control over someone's life, then don't fucking have kids.
Yeah.
Because eventually you have to realize that you're raising a person, not a clone of yourself. You're
Yeah.
not raising someone to be your take to it life.
Sure.
Yeah.
And of
You
course
know?
the government is going to lean into that because they want to raise your kid to be part of the military so they can
Yeah.
get what they
Oh,
want. I mean, it's all, it's
God.
connected to that. It's connected.
Also, it's really funny when a parent's like, "Oh, he's such a boy," and you're like, "He's not doing anything." Do you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It's like the
I think the
smallest thing.
funniest,
of
oh,
like,
he's gonna be
such
such-
a boy, or like, or she's such a girl. And you're like, she's just sitting. Do you know what I mean? Like,
So they go, oh, he's gonna be a real ladies man.
Yeah.
And you
And he's like,
know,
he's-
if you said anything else, if you said, damn, he's gonna
He's
give
gonna-
some guy some blue balls someday, people would have fucking
Oh, yeah.
be riots.
You know what I loved about my family is they all knew they knew everything about me before I did. This whole time they've just been waiting for me to catch up.
Is that when you look at people who were from non-accepting families, like, I know your family wasn't perfect in other ways. Do you go, oh, thank God I had?
Well, here's the thing: is it all? I learned a long time ago that it's all relative. We gotta stop comparing our childhoods. You know, like, it doesn't matter if, you know, what matters is what you choose to do with your adulthood, and how you choose to deal with the trauma of your childhood, because we all fucking have the trauma. Because I looked at my rich kids who had all the resources that I didn't have growing up in a poor family, and their psychological issues are through
Yeah.
the roof. They didn't ever want for clothes or food the way I did.
Yeah.
But they are the most dark, complex, like, at times baffling people psychologically. And then I grew up with like just no resources, but my family and I, because we had no resources, spent a lot of time together, and we were
Yeah.
each other's resources. And no, we weren't perfect, and addiction and all kinds of dark stuff runs in my family, but I never ever once questioned my place in my family, and it was told to me repeatedly ad nauseum that I could be anything I needed or wanted to be as long as I was not harming anyone else in being that person. They would accept me. And it was told to me my whole life because my family saw basically from a young age that I was visibly queer.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm more in that first camp of grew up with enough money. We had a pool. And I always tell people, it's like, we had a pool and we never swam in it. And when we did, we were alone. And it's like, it was an isolating, so many of the things that my family spent money on isolated us from community. And it's like, it fucked us up in its own way.
Yeah. And I think, what we should really, we should be checking in with are people who grew up in foster homes and adoption agencies. Like, if we're talking about like, well, I had one dad and that was rough. And I'm like, well, I had a single mom and 3 brothers and that was rough. But I had my grandma and my aunt, talk about the people who have no family, period.
Yeah.
And that's where our conversation should begin, because the best resource you can have in life is family, whether it's chosen family, given family, like having people who love you unconditionally and who you get to be yourself around authentically without fear is the best gift I have been given in my life beyond any monetary asset.
Is the concept of chosen family, because did that kind of come out of a queer space, the phrase or the idea? I think as like someone who, I sometimes, when I think about why am I going to Fire Island, why these things, and I think about the things that resonate with me, I feel like chosen family was always like one of those where, and listen, I have some great family members, it's not to poo-poo them, but like it wasn't a structural unit. Divorce, split up, depression, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's like part of the things that resonate, which I imagine came from a lot of people ousted from their families or not. And then
that's exactly it. The concept of chosen family, like I have a great relationship with my given family, my blood family, my biological, however you want to describe the people who I was raised with, the woman I came out of. I have a great relationship with them, and I've had there have been rough spots throughout my life, but I've always had them. And I have a chosen family, because even my bisexual brother has no idea what it's like to be me. So I need people in my life who actually speak the same language, code switch as much as I do, do all the same things I do to survive. That's what chosen family is. And it was born out of people being kicked out of their family. So they found other people who were kicked out of their family, and that's what they had in common, But I just want to say, before straight people start appropriating the concept of chosen family, it's more than just like who you like spending time with, It's the people you love and care for with all of their flaws and all of their perks. You don't get to like say, I choose you as family, but you have to change everything about yourself.
Absolutely.
Because that's why we left the first family.
Well, let me ask you, because I really want to ask, when it comes to, I know we're kind of saying tongue in cheek about the appropriation to a degree, but there also is the reality of it. Like, I hope you don't mind if I bring you into the conversation. Like, okay. Russell's currently in Ginger Twinsies off Broadway, playing one of the Lindsay Lohan characters. He was in Titanic. He played Rose's mom. Wonderful. And we often talk about like there's different ways where we're what was the phrase you used? By chance straight?
Just happens to
be straight.
Yeah.
And there's like different things. Like I like go to Fire Island and I feel this kind of a different communal sense, like with other gay guys, which cultivated from musical theater. Maybe it's nostalgic, I don't know. But also my girlfriend, she fits in there too. Like I think she and at the same time, I've never had any like getting dressed. I like less clothes. I just like wearing tank tops and shorts. Where like Russell, like he's thrived in this space playing women, and
Yeah.
we're both straight guys. And I feel like there's sometimes is certainly like a what is this appropriation? Is this, and in my defensive mind, I'm obviously would go like, no, this is about fluidity.
I have an answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have two answers for you that I think are pretty important to share. One, when I watched the old... wrong route. Okay. Listen.
I have 10 responses.
If you are an ally because you say, I accept this person for being queer and as long as they don't keep it, as long as they keep it to themselves and don't inflict it on me, then I'm fine with them. I'm an ally. That's flimsy allyship.
Yeah.
For
If
sure.
you're an ally who can't speak up when you see something wrong happening because you're scared you're going to get labeled as gay, that's not an ally. And, it's like, it's not overcoming something. It's just realizing that this other person's a human being.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about like, I accept them in spite of. It's like, I accept them because that is a human right there, and I have no business telling them anything about themselves. The same way a straight person would never accept a queer person saying, hey, could you not kiss your girlfriend around me? It makes me sick. You know, like they'd be like, this is what's normal. And so if you think that there's a normal, you're still not quite getting it, right? There is no normal.
Sure.
We've only been told that, right? So I don't know. It's like, I don't think either of you are appropriating queer culture. I believe that being part of the queer umbrella, the LGBTQAI plus community, I heard an intersex person at a rally once say, I identify as queer not because of who I love, but because of who has loved me in my life. So it sounds like you, because of these traits that you possess, don't necessarily feel comfortable in heteronormative spaces, or maybe you found aspects of yourself that thrive in queer spaces. So you are allies because queer people saw that in you and said, hey, I know you don't suck dick, but you kind of seem like one of us, you know.
You kind of seem like you would.
I mean, that's how.
No, but it is.
That's how gay men have their straight female best friend. It's like, I know you're not a lesbian, but you think like a gay man. You want to come hang out with us, you know. It's the reverse of the chick who's one of the guys, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, it is wild. Like, we've all been in a lot of dressing rooms, and I gotta say, like, it's wild how much more comfortable and like easy it is to talk to people in these dressing rooms than many a dressing room with a 50-year-old white male actor that you're just like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. Do you know what I mean? That thing.
And you're tuning out some of the things they say because you're like, I have to share a space with this person, so I'm not going to pick that
so
fight
it is
right
a
now.
space where you're like, it feels
Do you know why? This is my running theory. Being the queer community is a global community. And our only rule for being a member of this community is you have to be chill with every other member of the community. Just like my family said, as long as you're not harming someone. So that's why I hate the whole like, well, then are you saying that pedophiles and these people should be accepted? And we're like, no, because we're not saying any person. We're saying any person who respects other people. And if you're a pedophile, you don't respect other people.
Sure, but it's also such a ruse. It's such a ruse because it's the same group that were Epstein's friends and Catholic Church people and Boy Scouts.
And
it's
the hypocrisy.
It's not even worth like accepting the good faith of the argument. It's
but
like
that's
it's bullshit.
that's how much they've gotten to me in my life. That I always think it. When I'm saying we accept everyone, I always think of making that caveat so that anyone listening.
Sure, but it's not even a good fate. It's just like it's just.
But the point is, we are global. You know, it is a community that exists everywhere, and people can be queer without, again, showing any outward signs. You know, it's like the X-Men. That's why queer people respond so much.
Jay Jordan wrote an X-Men comic.
And there are X-Men who can blend in, and there are X-Men who can't. There are, you know, I hate using the term mutant because it sounds derogatory in this context, but, you know, it's a beautiful allegory because it just explains that some people are born different.
Yeah. And you like putting on the X-Men costume. Let me tell. There's one Fire Island story I did want to tell. So
how big was it?
So we were at this pool, and I'll keep it vague to a degree, but it was somewhere where a guy said, an older guy was there, and he said to the group, he's like, hey, anyone mind if I take off my clothes? Probably just because my girlfriend was there. And we said no. And so he says though, he's like, I gotta tell you though, I got a little bit of a weird penis. And so now all of us are like,
we gotta look at it.
We gotta look.
Like,
and so I think we all look out the corner of our eye, and it's like, I don't have my glasses on. I believe you me, I would have run and got him. But there was a color that was different. I noticed just something different in the middle, in the head. And so none of us saw for sure, but something was something. And then later we left. We didn't go any closer. He was on the other corner. And we kept saying, like, someone has to ask. He brought it up in kind of a jovial manner. We didn't know. Who knows? Piercing? I don't know. But then no one asked. And then it wasn't until later, midnight. I had my 4 bumps a K. And it was getting late. He was going out to the Big Daddy dance off or something. And
you were like, I gotta ask.
I said, I gotta ask. I gotta ask. Earlier, you said something about your penis, and we noticed something. What was that? And he was like, oh, you didn't get it? I'll be right back. He goes in his room for like 5 minutes, comes out fully dressed, then takes out his cock again. He's uncircumcised, and he puts a little googly eye right in the foreskin. So it's like, and I was like,
it's just a bit.
Oh, it was a bit.
It was a bit. That's his bit. He goes, I got a weird penis.
That kind of
That's very funny. It's very funny that everyone was like, oh, you just all took his word and were like, oh, we won't really look like directly.
It wasn't clear. It was like kind of jovial, like, I got a weird penis, and we're like, maybe he does. I don't know how much he wants to talk about
That is so funny.
I have to circle back to one thing. You said, when you were talking about your genital dysphoria, you said you want a longer penis. Does that mean you're happy with the width? I'm like, everyone says bigger penis, and you said longer, and I'm like, he's like, you know what? I've got a beer can dick, but it's just not long enough.
It's a skull. It's like a chewing,
what is happening here?
If I could switch the width and the length, I'd be killing it.
It's a can of caviar.
It reminds, anyway, and then so
it's fine. It's fine. It's just like there's this thing where, and it's never going to go away. Like talking about like associating big dick good, small dick bad. It's tough to go away because people who like my work, some of them will go to, you can tell he's got a big dick. And I'm like, well,
comedy. I thought you meant sexual work. I was like,
oh, my sexual.
Well,
they're inseparable
like
at this point.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the same thing of like, you know, South Park making fun of Trump. It's like he has a little dick. If you like someone, they're packing. And it's like, it is so... I mean, I see it in queer spaces, straight spaces, but it's like big dick good, small dick bad, and I'm fine. And so the idea of like people like just thrusting upon like you can tell he's packing, and I'm like, let's not.
But do you know why? You like have all of the like physical like ding ding. Like you are just doing all the things that says this guy has a big dick. It's not necessarily anything about you. You're just the amalgamation of BDE. But here,
it's setting me up for disappointment.
Exactly, it's setting you up for like, how can you ever compete with the imagination of how big your dick is?
Yeah.
But here, the conversation we're having right now is why gender norms hurt even the men who think they benefit from it. Because like all that whole conversation, I mean, think of how much you can manipulate a man if you tell him people will think you have a small dick if you do this, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying when they say people will think you're gay. It's the same mind trick, you know? And men love their penises.
Well, that's the line then that we have to go with, I think, politically, is be like, listen, if you have a small penis, it's going to be better in this world. You're going to feel safer in this world. And voting's anonymous, so you don't have to like wear a shirt.
Yeah.
But you know, vote with your dick.
Yeah.
You did janitorial work in college?
Yeah, all 4 years.
How was it tough? Was it
No, I actually, I was a janitor all 4 years at college, and then on breaks and after college, I did some retail, some food service, and then I willingly went back to janitorial work, and my last job, I was a janitor again for like 9 months before I left to film Drag Race, and that was my last Muggle job. I'm reclaiming it. And so I liked it because I didn't have to interact with other people, which is funny because I love interacting with other people in my work now, but interacting with other people when they are convinced that it's your job to see to their every need, it's like, I don't know. I think it's like the bourgeoisie, some of them, they're like, I know what'll make me feel rich. Treating people like shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. And I just have, it's not even my self-respect that didn't allow me to overcome the treatment. It's my love of logic. I'm like, you being rude to us makes no logical sense because it's not going to make the food any better, and it's not going to erase the grievous mistake. You know, in fact, you're taking a real gamble here because you're going to eat whatever we give you. You know, like I've never understood. And in retail, it was just like, oh my God, I just can't pretend. I can't pretend to care about clothes that much, one, even though I love clothes. But the biggest thing about retail is any retail with a credit card, the only people you get to sign up for the credit card are the most susceptible to being taken advantage of.
That's so sad.
And I felt horrible. So I had to meet a quota, and I would meet my quota, and I'd stop pushing the credit card. And then finally they said, we're taking you off the registers because you meet your quota, and it's clear that once you meet your quota, you stop trying to push the credit cards. Yeah. And I flat out said, I don't like pushing the credit cards. I feel really gross about it. And then I got put in the back room just folding clothes.
Yeah.
And I started only getting called to do overnight work and stuff.
I think they should be we were changing our cable. Me and my girlfriend are moving, and like he was trying to pitch us on the bigger package or whatever. And we're fine. We're fine. And we tried to say that, but he ends up being very pushy. Like, he's just like, well, let me just tell you this one thing, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
And I think there should be like the company being allowed to put this guy in the position of being kind of pushy in a way that like is uncomfortable to deal with and ultimately makes for a horrible interaction. He should be legally, the company should have to say, you're allowed to say at the beginning, hey, I have to fulfill a quota, so I'm going to try to sell you on this. It's such a putting the onus on the person and then putting the onus on the customer. It's just like, I'm fine. I feel this is now an awful interaction.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No one, I mean, the big corporations don't care about the actual customer experience. And now small corporations don't care about the customer experience because it's like, who gives a shit about the customer anymore? They have to buy your shit in anyway. Like, that's what we're fucking learning. Raise the prices. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Make their own clothes? Make their own diapers? Yeah, that is what we're fucking doing now. You wonder why? Like, it's trending to grow your own food because you're making it impossible to live in your world.
Well, Russell did a concert last night, and you were saying you think that there's less bands putting on.
I was like, you know, my two friends and I, we've been writing songs for like 8 years. We just did our second show because we were just
It was
really
amazing.
There was
Rooster
no
Bomb.
timeline on it. We were, you know, but I was like, it's so much work, and there's no spaces that you can just kind of go into and casually do a show without having to give them all your money or rent it out for a crazy amount of money, you know, and the equipment. It's just like it feels like. It's so much harder to make a band now than it would have been like 30 years ago when there were so many bands and so much great music happening.
And there's no way to make money off of putting out music.
No, you have
anymore.
to do that. Can't be your thing.
You have to put out the music to get people to want to see you live or want to see you do this other thing. The music is like a commercial now. Now the music isn't good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you put out the music essentially for free to then try to sell them on coming and having an experience.
And then that's the only source of income.
And because people are starting to notice this and talk about this, but that's the one thing they can't buy creativity. So they have to exploit creative people.
Yeah.
And there are the people who know they're just exploiting creative people. And then there are the people who think they're creative because they have money. And those are the worst people of all.
Yeah.
Because
And AI is giving them that
oh
illusion.
my God. Well, but they're the people who want to fund a project because they're like, this is so cool. And then, you know, they trick some artist into saying, okay, fund my project. And then they go, I just have some suggestions. So if you want my money, I have to like be able to tweak it a little bit. And then it becomes something god awful because this uncreative person decided their way of being creative was to piggyback off of someone else's actual talent.
And then there are the creative people that have deluded themselves into thinking that like, well, I'm not going to do AI like everyone else is doing AI. I'll do AI in a cool, different way. And you're like, no, you're doing it too. You're doing it. You're making a buck right now.
The only way to use AI responsibly is to use it as a tool. The second you've replaced a human, then you're contributing to it.
Yeah.
Like the second you use AI in place of hiring an actual human or hiring someone to do the work to get the shot rather than just typing it in, then you're contributing to the problem. I think if you say, AI, what's the best movie to watch when I'm in the mood to watch something on an acid trip? You know, you're not hurting anyone. Where are you going? Like, I still suggest you turn to your friend and say, do you know a good movie? Like,
It's just a hollow existence. Like I bought a piece of art at Fire Island. They had like a little thing, and you're like, so much of it is like, I remember I was on K for the first time and I saw this thing.
And that's why we're selling experiences now.
Yeah.
And that's why we're... But here's the thing is like... Because they learned that, then they're trying to do it. And we are all so good. I mean, unless you willingly remain ignorant. Like, don't you feel better at smelling bullshit these days because we're all having the conversation of how we got tricked into believing things?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only way we're going to survive is to start talking to each other again.
Yeah.
And AI is just another tool to keep us isolated so they can control us.
I mean, if anything...
And ChatGPT is specifically designed to agree with you more than any other AI.
Yes. Well, it's like
so
Elon Musk
contributes to that inflated sense of self-ego where I don't need anyone else. I don't need to have conversations. I don't need to hire artisans because I've got this thing that agrees with me no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think the whole thing with Grok on Twitter, what's fascinating about it is Elon Musk tried to build an AI. It didn't agree with a lot of his views. And then he tried to like inject his own views into it. And it became a Hitler-loving Nazi all of a sudden. Yeah. And it's like, I think the biggest thing of bullshit that I wish I could like instill in the world is that there's no such thing as this objective AI. What you want doesn't exist. There's no such thing as purely objective news that doesn't have someone's point of view. There's no such thing as pure AI that's going to tell you the truth. Nothing is going to tell you the truth. We don't have it as firmly as that.
If we built it, it's influenced by someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Bible.
God is made in our image, so is AI, and
right?
it's
so that. But here's the thing: is like art evolves with technology. I have to point out that, like, because of technology evolving to create new ways that we can create art, it's keeping art accessible for disabled people. I just have to point out that a lot of people have been able to maintain their art career even as they lose abilities because of technology evolving. But technology, just like magic, and this is coming from a witch, I'm someone who believes that highly advanced magic and highly advanced science, you can't tell the difference from it. Science is magic we understand. Magic is science we don't understand yet, right? Okay. So if we take that and we apply it to technology, one of the rules of magic is magic exists whether we acknowledge it or not. The forces of the universe exist whether we acknowledge. Gravity doesn't care if you believe in it. It's going to exist. So magic exists whether we believe in it or not. If you find a way to tap into it, utilize it, manipulate it, then that's when it takes on good or bad qualities. There are things in life that are neither good nor bad, but the second humans interfere with it, it takes on good or bad qualities the way that we use it. Magic is not inherently good or bad. It's those who use it for good or bad reasons. Technology is not inherently good or bad. It's the way that we use it. Masculinity is not inherently bad. Toxic masculinity is masculinity that has been corrupted by man and turned into what we know masculinity to be now. But there's nothing wrong with a man acting like what we think a man acts like. But when he does that at the expense of everyone else around him, that's toxic masculinity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Before we go on to our next segment, we do have your writing partner, Dela, on tomorrow.
Oh, wonderful.
We do. I'm curious about, you know, I only know the drag scene from afar to a degree, but like I'm curious, like is it ever stifling the definition of what drag is? Like, do you feel that you've expanded the definition of what it can be, what it I mean, you go by your drag name, or was your drag name in your personal life? Is that
I go by my drag name has become my stage name. So it's like I'm not always in the Jinkx Monsoon getup. Yeah. But you know, no matter what, I'm Jinkx Monsoon. It's like Marilyn Monroe to Norma Ray. What was her? Norma Jean. Norma Ray was Union. Anyway, Norma Jean. So Hera Lilith Hoffer is the name I've chosen for myself now that I've begun and carried out my medical transition. But I really wanted my drag name to stay the public name because I wanted people to see a drag queen got to this space. But I'm trying to think of like what to compare it to.
Well, let me just say, I just on the point of like to bring up a more challenging person I had to deal with, but we were talking about Shane Gillis and how he was doing. He's not what I was about to bring up, but how the Trump is like Trump drag. I think about Andrew Dice Clay. Andrew Dice Clay was he went by he's a Jewish guy who had, that was one of his characters, but ultimately like that became the embodiment of his stage persona. Yeah. And I just think there's something so whenever things become when homophobic people kind of identify this as a queer thing, or like taking on the name or being a different person, it's like, what are you talking about? This is the history of all art. I mean, and Andrew Dice Clay could not be the furthest toxic masculine version of that, but it was a character that somehow connected with his core, and that's what he became, and that's what he goes by.
I mean, but we all do that. We just don't all name it.
Sure.
You know, we have our work self. We have the person we are around our friends, and the person we are around our family. We just don't give those names.
Yeah.
Drag, and what I want to say about drag is like, drag is just how we do it. Drag is like a part of our craft, yes, but drag is also always hand in hand with something. You know, like I'm a drag queen who trained to be an actor, so I do drag and I'm an actor. And then you've got like drag queens who are drag queen stand-up comedians. Are they doing anything different from any other stand-up comedian? Fuck no. They're not doing a goddamn thing different. But they get subcategorized because they're in drag. Okay, well, we accept that some people are serious actors and some people are comedy actors. Why can't we accept that some people are actors who act in, like, Dame Edna appears in movies as Dame Edna and appears in movies as other characters. I guess the only people who are allowed to do drag in the mainstream are straight people. So
look at The Rock.
You want to talk
every wrestler in the whole world.
You want to talk about the real people appropriating queer culture. The whole definition of appropriation is when you take something from a marginalized community that they can't do freely, and you use your privilege and say, watch me do it because no one's going to tell me no. That's when you're appropriating culture. Like, that's the difference between appreciation. And that's why when you are an ally who lifts up the community who's lifting you up, that's different from someone who strings a community along, teasing them with the idea that one day they're going to come out, and then does absolutely nothing for them except continue to string them along. You know, like, it's the work you put in that makes you an ally.
It's good. Let's go to our next segment. This has got to stop.
This has got to stop.
We do a new thing. If you're a patron, you get to submit a This Has Got to Stop for us to do on the show. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. Ty, what is our patron This Has Got to Stop?
Actually, you know what? Do yours. Let me find one real
Great.
fast.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I had a feeling. Do you have a This Has Got to Stop?
This has got to stop. It's been a long, long week of very cruel comments about my coffee opinions. And listen, I've heard all your takes, and I promise I'll stop going. Listen, some days I do make it at home. And I promise you
Are you running on Duncan?
I'm not. I am today, because that's the thing. People are mad at going to bad coffee places instead of local places. Let me tell you, I love a local coffee shop. I go to them all the time. But if it's not on the way for the train and I'm running out of time, I will pop into a Dunkin'. I will pop into a Starbucks.
You're utilitarian.
I'm sorry. And you all have very good coffee opinions. I'm sorry you felt that clip. It did well, but it's caused a lot of grief for me this week, and a lot of I've been reflecting on it, and I'm
just glad our listeners are finally understanding you're not just all sunshine and roses and sweet. You have harsh opinions.
Harsh opinions on cold brew. Anyway, so I've heard it, but I think it's time we can stop commenting on it and stop offering me advice. Stop DMing me about how I'm a piece of shit for going to Starbucks. And I didn't even say the Starbucks thing. That's an assumed thing that you've put into the story. But yeah, we can stop. We can stop now.
My This Has Got to Stop, also extremely personal, is my girlfriend Tovah took one picture at the show. Jay and I got in Speedos for most of the stand-up. Jay is very fit. And we're both wearing Speedos from the Pines. I forget the name of the store.
I saw your little story post about
Yeah.
which Speedo am I going to wear?
And I ended up wearing 2 different ones for the show. I had to change.
Well, I thought you did like multiple
This is
shows.
your drag, by the way. Speedos counts.
Yeah. And also, have you ever performed at Cherries?
Cherries in Fire Island?
Uh-huh.
I've never been to Fire Island. I'm a P-Town girl.
Oh.
It's just a little more my speed.
Sure. But there was a green room. But the green room, there was a drag queen in the green room. Have you ever shared a green room with a drag queen?
Yeah.
Trick question. No one has.
Oh.
You don't share a drag
okay.
a dressing room with a drag queen.
Packed.
You thank her for whatever space she allows you.
So can I sit under this wig here? And so Tovah took this picture from behind because it both said Pines on our asses, and I don't have an ass, and that's fine. I don't love it. I don't love the messages about my small ass. I told Tovah, I said she loves me too much, so she'll share a picture. I go, honey, I don't look good in that picture. She goes, no, you look great. I go, honey, you're blind from your love. And here's the part that bothers me. I'm not skipping legs day. I'm not skipping legs day. I'm doing it. And that's what's so frustrating. So comment if you want.
All these women are commenting and saying mean things to you.
It's not the women.
I'm kidding.
I know. I'm not skipping legs day. I am 6'4". My leg is extremely long.
It's all there's a lot of spread happening.
There's a lot
here.
of spread.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. My jeans
But here's
just...
the thing. If you got too dense, that you would develop body problems. Your bones, the length of your bones can't support the weight
a
they're
big butt.
asking for.
No.
Yeah.
It would cause back problems,
Yeah.
probably.
So please, you're encouraging me to hurt myself
Yeah.
by commenting on my ass.
Yeah.
Stop asking me about it. And I told my trainer, though, today. He said, how was Fire Island? And I said, we're doing squats today.
We got to do something.
You probably
about
could
this.
get underwear that like gives you a little butt. Don't you think they make that?
padded.
I was hoping for
They
your
have
butt looks good enough already, buddy.
They have padded.
No.
They have padded butt lifting underwear. They do. Drag queens wear them all the time. It's like not quite, hip pads, but it's a little something. I like all the types of bodies, right? What I care about most is the rascally energy,
Yeah.
So I don't care if you got a fat ass or a flat ass. If we're like pulling pranks on people and then you want to make out in the stairwell when no one's looking, then I'll be down.
Sure. Well, thank you for that. But I'm working on it. Okay? I'm working on it. And I promise you, Fire Island, when we do a show there next year, I'm going to have a big fat ass.
Big
Yeah.
fat ass.
Big fat ass.
Are you going to get a BBL?
If it doesn't build by then, absolutely.
But also, every once in a while, people just die from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the nice
And also,
one.
where are you going to get the fat from?
Yeah.
That's true. We'll see. Got a little love
Don't
handle.
go pinching around.
Can you imagine?
Do I get
This
this has
to the
got to
podcast.
stop?
You've lost a bunch of weight, and I'm sitting on a
I've
big
lost
fat
40
ass,
40
and I go,
pounds.
Russell is a part of me. Russell's a part of me now and forever.
We've been talking about your ass for a while.
What's your this has got to stop?
You're like, okay.
Do you have the fan one? Let's do this one, and then I want to end with this.
Okay, of course. And first off, thank you for actually reading that DM I sent you.
Was it about how I'm skipping legs day?
Yeah, exactly.
What is up with the ass?
Okay, I think this is a good one here. This is from Sarah. This has got to stop. Requiring printed headshot / resume at auditions.
Yep.
It's 2025. Stop making me pay to print these, and then also making me do a little arts and crafts project, cutting / stapling them together.
How has that technology not been? How is that not?
That's what AI is for.
Yeah.
That's what AI is for. It took me a long time, but I had one of those big fucking headshot cutters, just lugging from apartment to apartment. It's done.
What were you getting them on a spool? because of that. I have to fucking say, and this is probably the cuntiest thing about me, is because of Drag Race, I skipped a lot of that. Like, I had my pack of headshots and resumes that I made my senior year of college, and I used those up, and I never needed them again.
Wow. That's what they should do. You make your first batch of headshots. If you don't have a career where you don't need to submit headshots after that, time to pack it up. You're off the show.
Then you can get tricked. You can go for a long time without needing it, and then every once in a while they're like, "We need it," you know, and you're like, "Why?"
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That
100%.
has got to stop.
Yeah, that's crazy.
As someone who never had to deal with it, I agree.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
So wait, is there no digital like portal that they submit to?
No, there
anymore?
is.
Can,
That's
but
why.
sometimes they say, "Can we have it so we can display it out in front of us
have to
and
have
laugh
both.
Yeah.
and write mean
They
things?"
have to have both.
They want to write it on the thing and be like, "Yeah."
Tactile people.
You print it
casting
out.
agents.
Yeah.
You print it
You
out.
print
or
it
start
out.
paying for the fucking
Yeah.
auditions. What's your? This has got to
Okay. I have a personal one that I'm going to do quick, and then I have one that I've actually been thinking about for a long time.
Great.
The personal one, this has got to stop. Stop asking me or suggesting or telling me in any way, shape, or form to run for office. I have no... Do you... Oh, my God, no. Fuck off. There's no reason for me to enter that space.
Yes.
I know what the intention behind that is, and I just, do you want to kill everything good about me? Like,
Truly. People it's so crazy. People are like, Colbert should run for president. Like, why would Colbert run for
Why would
president?
you wish that
Why would you
on
wish
him?
that?
But that's the problem. No one who should run runs. You
Yeah.
won Drag Race. It sure certainly can't be
I
harder
mean,
than
there are times where I'm like, I mean, he did it. I should be able to.
The only person who could be another drag queen is.
But the thing is like, it's the thing is I'd be as much of a dictator. I'd be a progressive dictator. Because we're beyond anything that can be done simply. You know, like we need to unplug everything.
Okay, so what are some of
And
your
plug it
executive
back
orders
in.
right
Yeah.
out the gate?
Oh, I said this recently in an interview. Fire all the men. You're now stay-at-home parents.
Oh no. This
Fire
affects
all,
us.
fire all the men. You're stay-at-home parents for 1 year, and then we'll check in and see how it's going.
What if you happen to be a man?
What if
Well, I think you can petition.
you don't have kids?
We'll find you something. There's plenty.
Oh,
I like this petition. The petition.
petition.
We could do like a lip sync for
you
our
could
life.
petition. Yeah, you could petition for why, but you know, it's gonna be we're gonna really scrutinize in the same way that women have been scrutinized.
Yeah.
You know,
I would do It's Raining Men lip
and
sync
I
right
think,
away.
And I think queer men have to petition. Trans men don't.
Okay.
Okay, but here's my real. This
We've
has
lost a
gotta
big
stop.
chunk of the voting electorate right out the gate.
That's why. Don't put this on me. You don't want me as president. I mean, I would make things better, but not in a way you like it. In a way, I'd give you. Ooh. Anyway, please don't make me run for office. Please stop suggesting it. Okay, but here's what's got to stop. If you are walking on the sidewalk with your children or with kids in a stroller, I'm sorry, you don't get to take up the whole sidewalk. I'm sorry. You do not get to walk 5 abreast down the sidewalk
be single
at a
file.
snail's pace. It doesn't even have to be single file. You can be shoulder to shoulder, but you cannot take up an unreasonable amount of space with your 5 kids or your 2 strollers and expect everyone to just go, I'm
What,
so
you
sick
posing
of
for a
this.
picture?
You know, like, I didn't agree to you having those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I agreed that I'm going to walk down the sidewalk and I'm going to take up the space that I realistically need to take up and try to take up as little space as possible because it's fucking New York and it's hell out there. But the people who take their leisurely ass time in crowded spaces with their 2 strollers and their 3 more kids on leashes running around taking up a fucking radius.
Yes.
Like, where the fuck do you get off? I don't even get to use a bathroom, but you get to take up a 10-foot radius in Times Square, and then
I was
sit
gonna
there
say, I
and
know
go,
why this complaint is coming up.
Yes.
Oh, they're just kids. Oh.
Walking through Times Square every day is
Walking
not
through
gonna
Times Square is
help with the love of
It's the
humanity.
worst thing of-
I
That is
know.
a brutal space to be in.
I am a positive person, but when I need to get into character for Mary Todd, I just go on a walk through Times Square. I put on dramatic classical music, noise cancellation, and just try to walk 10 blocks. And it's all I need to take in that rage and put it on stage.
The same thing applies to people with the extending leashes on a very small dog. And
the smallest.
They let the smallest
And then-
little rat
and
dog
then-
that's
and there's-
30 feet from them. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
Here's
I'm gonna
here's
throw
the
it.
real problem. It's not even just the all of that. It's that then when you try to get
Yes,
around them,
yes.
they look at you like,
They think it's cute. Yeah. And I'm like, no, it's
and
not.
it's the same thing with the kids. It's like, here I am walking out into the street to get around your family reunion that you're having in the middle of Times Square, and then they go, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have to take up all
Yeah.
this room because kids. Or the elevator. It's like, sorry, we need the whole elevator because we had 5 children.
Yeah.
It's like,
You put him back in there, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, like, who
Yeah.
told you to bring them with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Like, if you want to have kids, live somewhere kid appropriate. I don't know, and or have one. If you want to live in New York, it's. I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Actually, I really don't care. But it's the sense of entitlement.
I agree.
If you saw me struggling to get around you, and you went, "Oh, Jesse, come here, come here. Sorry, come here. Get out of their way," and you start instilling on your kids the value of sharing space with people. Fine, have as many fucking kids as you want. But if you start teaching your kids that because you decided to live a heteronormative life, that everything has to automatically be your way, fuck you.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop.
Just because you mentioned an elevator, I have to say real quick a story. I caught eyes with this guy the other day. He was like in the elevator, and we caught eyes very quickly. But I was kind of far away, and I watched him hit the door close because Messi be in a hurry, and I ran and I caught the thing at the last minute, and then I was like, I wanted to be like, I didn't think this was gonna happen, did you? You weren't counting on this, were you? It was like the craziest
Do
thing.
you think he did the calculus? He said, this guy can't run.
I know. I think so. He's like, this fat guy's not gonna run.
He saw
And I
your
was
knee
like-
brace, he
And
was
I,
like,
and I,
"He's
and I
just got a
ran and I
chance."
caught the thing, and I was like, just like got on,
you
like,
cartwheel in.
like now we're here.
think I
Now,
couldn't do that, huh?
now we're here
Not
together.
cartwheel, just
Now we're here
shablam
together,
in.
sir. How's that?
You
How's
looked
that?
at him.
I just was like, interesting, just like that kind of thing, like because he was just so like wanted that elevator all to
this
himself.
person.
It was crazy.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
I have seen that in the... Did I?
Oh yeah, there you go.
I have seen that in the. I'm staying in, the theater's renting me space in a high-rise condo building,
Yeah.
and there's, some well-to-do people living in this building, and I have never seen so many people. One person in an elevator. One person in an elevator.
Yep.
Because they can't stand the idea of riding in an elevator with someone else. And I have to say, this whole idea of me for me and fuck everyone else was only exacerbated by COVID.
Yeah.
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 We were given permission to be isolationists, and it was a good thing. And now we've carried that back with us into interacting with other
Yes.
people. And y'all, that's gotta stop.
In some parts of the UK, they don't have that button. I was on an elevator in the
yeah.
UK, and I was like, okay, maybe we got to install this. Hey, we get rid of this button until you learn some fucking manners over here.
Yeah.
Final segment.
You better count your blessing.
You better count your blessing. We had a good negative episode. My blessing is Jay Jordan, my good friend Jay Jordan. He invited me to Fire Island last time, invited me this time. It's only because of him I would know where to go, what to wear, and I'm so grateful. I always talk about how, like, I had a lot of friends in college. Like I gay friends growing up, and I always think like there was a degree where as their sex lives, as they started going to gay clubs and gay bars, it ended up there was a division where sex became so dominant, where that difference about us took a hold over our time. And I think like especially in a stand-up space, which luckily has become more queer friendly in the last however many decades, to have a friend and to just feel within that community. And I love you, Jay. So thank you for having me along.
Gay.
Gay.
Russell, do you have a blessing?
Yeah, my blessing. My bandmates, Jen and Tim. We had a really great show last night, and I'm thankful for friends like you that came out. It was really, really lovely room. Everyone was so sweet and supportive, and
celeb packed house.
Celeb packed house.
We can say it.
No,
He was there.
There was.
Ron Howard was at your concert.
Yes,
That's amazing.
Yes, it was a. We had Ron Howard. We had Gianmarco Soresi. It was a
veritable who's
It was a veritable who's who in the East Village.
Have you
last
ever
night.
seen the movie Girls Will Be Girls?
No.
It's like drag compulsory viewing, but one of my favorite lines. She says, "I threw a party. Everyone was there. Rip Taylor, everyone."
But no, it was a really special night, and I'm thankful for everyone that came, and my bandmates. We've been doing this for so long, just kind of on our own, so it's been fun to get to do it in front of people finally.
You're so good. It was incredible.
Amazing.
Do you have a blessing, Jinkx?
Yeah, I'm gonna just shout out William Scott Blair. We've been friends for over 15 years, and he followed his dreams, and I followed my dreams, and it led us back to each other, and he has been the person doing all my hair recently.
Oh.
This is mine now, but it doesn't grow off my head, and I can't tell you how nice it's been to have days where I can just plop on some hair.
Yeah.
Have you ever you wear wigs in your work?
Wig, yeah.
Yeah. What do
Yeah.
you think about wigs?
It's a lot to maintain and to do, and to the pins.
But do you feel powerful?
I do like having a wig. It's like
It makes you feel like
it is something happens. Yeah.
nothing makes like for me when I put a wig on, it's like all of a sudden the wig, starts giving me information about who I am that day. The form informs the character.
It's like the Hedwig song.
Yeah. Do you wear wigs ever? Try it.
Yeah. Again, it really is more like I've never been like in any theater or anything like putting on clothes. It feels like a burden to me. I hate it. I like my skin to be
but
free.
it's a wig. You could be naked and wear a wig.
I'll try it.
What about a merkin?
When I did
That's your style.
Yeah, I
just
got
get a
that.
hair speedo.
Yeah, I don't need any more. I don't need any more.
Just tease it out, and then you can walk around naked.
I love that. What's your character? And what's the Parent Trap character name?
Annie James. Yeah.
If that became your stage name, Annie James, and you wore the outfit, you should see they did Watch What Happens Live.
Oh yeah.
In the characters at the bar.
Yes.
Did you make a joke how you couldn't drink?
No, they don't talk to the bartender. We just like wave. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been a bartender there 3 times. I'm like, Whoopi Goldberg. Hi, Whoopi.
Who are you people? Pamela Adlon?
Pamela Adlon and
I love Pam
she
Adlon.
was so nice. She was great. And then Machine Gun Kelly was sweet, sweet, quiet
you
boy.
You think he's a modern straight man?
He said he was an alien on the interview. I think
I'm pansexual. That's perfect.
Jinkx, where can people find you? Give them the whole rundown.
At this point, you can just Google me. It's it's all there. It links you right there, right? It links
I
you to
saw
all
you
my
in O'Mary.
profiles.
Russell wasn't able to make it,
I
but
was
you
so
were
bummed.
phenomenal.
Thank you. The big thing, though, is to find all my socials. It's JINKX KX. I cannot tell you why I decided to spell my name weird, but the joke is I paid extra for the K, so you have to use it. You get that joke now. So
I
Jinkx
do.
Monsoon. I'm the Jinkx on Instagram.
I remember when I did the bump, I was like, oh.
Okay.
No, I got it for free.
The Jinkx on Instagram, at Jinkx Monsoon, everywhere else, Jinkx Monsoon official some places, but you'll know it's me.
But go see O'Mary. Even if you saw it with
see
Cole,
O'Mary.
I saw it with Cole. It's such an
See
amazing
O'Mary.
play.
Go to
See it again.
jinxandela.com to learn about this year's. It's our 7th touring production of the Jinkx and Dela Holiday Show. 8th consecutive year we've written a brand new show
Incredible.
on the same topic.
great.
So come see this year's because we got lots to say and there's lots of material to work with.
And how long are you doing Mary for?
I am in O'Mary until September 28th.
Very cool.
You can see my understudy, Hannah Solo, on
Hannah
September.
Solo.
You can see her on September 9th and 10th because I will be in Oregon doing a show with the Oregon Symphony for those 2 days. But I'm in every other show for my run. And then the Jinkx and Dela Holiday tour begins in November. We're doing the States and Canada. So check out our Instagrams or go to jinxandela.com. Follow me on my socials to know what I'm doing. What's funny is, when you get to the point where you're like, I'd love to tell you what I'm doing, but I've signed too many contracts saying I can't. It's not even there yet, but I'm just very I'm very superstitious, so I don't like to talk about things until the ink is dry,
Yeah.
Well, I told people, I think when it happened, but you called me out, or you texted me one day out of the blue, and you were
And
like,
I said feet pics.
Hey, flat butt.
not from the back though.
Hey,
not
you
from the back.
piece of cock! Send me some feet pics or else.
But you were like, can you sing? And I was like, I was filled with dread, excitement and dread. But I was I guess. And
I was trying to cast. When was it?
Oh God, I was in a hotel, so who knows? I mean, it was a while ago. Last
I think
year.
I was trying to. It was when the production never happened, but
Of Powell.
of Anything Goes.
Oh, Anything
because
Goes.
of the
Oh.
California fires. But Sam Pinkleton was first going to direct me as Reno Sweeney in a concert version of Anything Goes, and then because of O'Mary going to Broadway and having a whole. A whole renaissance this year, winning Tonys and whatnot. Then Annie Tippie was going to direct it, or Annie Tipp. Oh
Annie
my
Tipp,
God.
I know Annie Tipp.
Yeah, I know. I knew I
She's
pronounced
directing
her last
Laura
name.
Benanti's show. Laura Benanti's doing my show Theater Adults soon,
Yeah.
but Annie Tipp.
So we were working together to cast Anything Goes, and I was trying to cast you as something or other in that show. But yeah, and then the show never happened.
Sure. But I've been taking voice lessons because of this new show I do, and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta, I'm working on it.
But here's the thing: is, dare I say, you'd likely be a character actor in the musical theater
Sure.
world,
That's why you asked me if I wear wigs.
or you could be a leading man in a more charactery musical.
Yes.
I could
Yeah.
see you as
Yes.
Seymour in an instant.
Listen,
But you
we're
don't
all
have
working
to.
on
putting it out in
You
the
don't have to
universe.
be the world's best singer. You just have to have musicality.
Yes.
Anyone can sell a song. You just have to learn how to be a salesperson. I'm running out of analogies here, and I really have to pee.
Where can people find you?
At Russell J. Daniels on Instagram. Come see Ginger Twinsies at the Orpheum Theater.
I cleared out my whole schedule for this production of Anything Goes, so nothing coming up. Fingers crossed it comes back.
Gianmarco.
He's still hoping it.
Join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. I'm performing all around. I have a perfectly good, decent penis. And tell people tell them your vocal,
And he's
your
working on his
vocal
butt.
thing, because I sent it to Russell. He needed a vocal thing. Just say your vocal concoction
okay.
breakdown.
I have it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. So loquat syrup's great for throat and lung health. You got throat coat, obviously. I know it has, throat coat existed before the slang term throat goat. So y'all can ease up on that. That's got to stop. And a Grethers lozenge melted down for glycerin, and this will help. I am a heavy weed advocate and user, and I am also a goddamn Broadway star, and I dare you to tell me to find a better way to do it.
This is the downside.
That was a Headgum podcast.